Morning, guys. Well, here it is. I told you I'd make a video about the food storage cellar that I have. Now, this cellar came with the property. It's not built quite right. If you know anything about root cellars, you'll see some issues here with the design. However, it has worked fairly well. It does keep the temperature pretty well moderated, although in the wintertime I do use a heat lamp to keep it just above the freezing floor. If the berms had filled all the way to the roof line and maybe packed some material in the front of it, it had been a better deal, but still it's effective and it works. I've got power in there, which is pretty cool, and it's all concrete, so I guess it could double as a storm shelter if that was a necessity. But let's go ahead and I'll show you inside. I've already got the lights turned on in there, and I'll show you what kind of food preparation I have here. This is a triple layer wooden door, solid wood core door. Oh my gosh, here we are. Now this is going to be kind of shaky cam because it's hard for me to get in there and do this all at once. But let's just start with here. On the back wall here, you can see the top there, those 6 boxes there, those are emergency essentials, freeze-dried foods. Those are those 25-year freeze-dried foods. Those are the larger cans in there. And you'll see the numbers on there. I have a sheet of paper, actually multiple sheets of paper, that can give me an idea what's in each box, so when I need to grab something, I can. Okay, let's move in a little closer here. Okay, that's a case of Spam right there. Then I've canned some chicken stock. That's those 4-quart jars there. This is just a spare jar. Below we've got one giant thing of chili, which my father gave to me. I think he got it as a gag gift, but I swear someday I'm going to open that up and eat the entire thing. These I got on clearance. They're $1 a can. They are canned bologna, and man, they are horrible. But in a pinch, I guess I would eat those. A few sardines, some random soup, a can of yams. Back over here we have canned pork. That's canned pork that I've made myself. Then a case of like spaghetti, raviolis, that kind of stuff. Lots and lots of green bean cans here. And there's some corn. We got potatoes, black beans, tomatoes. Let me see if I can back up so I can get the whole shelf. There we go. And then over here, these are our salsa. And this is salsa that we canned this year. Ran out of room on the homemade canned shelf, so I had to move it into the overflow area. This is kind of run down right now. Usually we have probably 75 cans of soup, but the year is almost over, and so we're down to that pile there. When they go on sale for $1 a can, and they do that 2 or 3 times a year, we'll stock back up on those. And then over here we have tuna fish, lots of tuna fish, followed by canned hams and more Spam, some varieties of Spam. Up here on the top shelf, we got a couple cases of cat food for the cats, some condiments, a variety of condiments, and one thing of coffee back there too. Then we move on, we got mixed vegetables. Vegetables and fruits pretty much occupy the top shelf. You know, mushrooms, pineapples, olives. There is some different types of rice and bean mixtures there. Picked up a whole bunch of this cranberry stuff, 10 cents a can, because it was nearing the expiration date. But we all know that's not really the expiration date. Then fruits, you don't want to get scurvy, so we have tropical fruits, we have oranges, we have pears and peaches, and we have just generic fruit cocktail. Beyond that, there's a few cans of chili and some cherry pie filling. Again, stuff that we just picked up on sale. And over in the corner there, 2 gallons of vinegar, some more of those emergency essentials, preparedness foods, and a case of Vienna sausage, because who wants to live without Vienna sausage? Alright, let me squat down here. And this is stuff that my wife and I have canned ourselves this year. Now, we also have another room that's about the same size as this that's inside our house that has an equal amount of food. So you can take what you're seeing here and pretty well double it. On the end there, that is a soup mixture, followed by some homemade sausages that we made. And then we have another soup mixture there. Those are all quart-sized jars, and there's a good pile of those. They're kind of dusty, but they're still good. This is the last of last year's green beans stacked in there. And we're currently canning this year's green beans, so plenty more to replace that. Then we've got pickles, canned pickles, more tomato sauce from our tomato garden. In the back there, that is canned deer meat. More tomato sauce there. More soup mixture right there. And then we get into jams and jellies. I'm not going to pull them all out, but this is a mixture. Some of it is blackberry jam, some strawberry jam, and some apple butter jam. That's all from the garden this year. We've ate pretty much all the stuff from last year. Here is more. This is my wife had a pretty good idea. It actually has worked out well. She pre-makes apple pie filling and cans that, so it's kind of got the spices and the flavorings, and you just take that and heat it up and put it in your pie mixture, and you got a homemade apple pie in no time. And back here is all peaches. This is peach jams or canned peaches. It's kind of hard to see in there, but there is a lot of it. That stuff we canned this year because we did really well with the peach trees this year. Then down the bottom here, I do keep some paint cans and stuff in here just so they don't freeze over the winter. A couple of things of cat litter. Again, that's just kind of the storage corner here. As we move on this way, we get into our dry goods. These are 5-gallon buckets, mostly filled with rice or beans or a combination of both. And dryer bags in there so they don't expire. So probably about, I don't know, 200 pounds of rice, maybe another 100 pounds of beans. And of course, occasionally, once a year, we go through this stuff and make sure that nothing's been contaminated. Throw in new dryer bags and move on. Let me stand back up. This back wall storage, there's a Coleman cooler. That bottom tote there, that's where we keep all the jars when we're doing our canning. Anytime we use a jar, we clean it out. It goes in that bottom tote waiting to be reused. And then over here on this back wall, this is all just emergency essentials, freeze-dried foods back here. Many boxes of that stuff, cases and cases of that, with that 25-year lifespan. That's just insurance, basically. Although occasionally, in a pinch, we open up a can and use it. I know I've used the mushrooms, and the soup mix is incredible. That ABC soup mix is great for making stuff. So that's what's going on there. I won't cover the last two shelves. But it's pretty much more of the same, and works pretty good. Now the unit is alarmed, and it has a thermometer out here so I can monitor the temperatures in the summer and the winter. Like I said, it never really gets more than about 50 degrees in here, which is great for the summertime. But in the wintertime, it does tend to hover just above freezing, and that kind of worries me. So, and I'll back up here a little bit. I installed a heat lamp in place of the regular lamp. And on days that it's going to drop into the teens or below, which, it happens up here for a week or two at a time, I'll just flip that light on. And that usually brings the air temp and the room temperature up enough to keep it from being an issue. Matter of fact, we haven't ever had it go below freezing. But I'd like to keep it at 40. A couple times it's gotten down to 36, which is a little bit alarming. But those are days when it never got above 0. So that is it. That is my food cellar. I've been telling you guys about and telling you that I was going to make a video on at some point. It's, certainly there are guys and gals out there that have much better setup than that. There are also guys and gals out there, and I imagine probably 95 to 6% of the population that don't have any food storage, and that's what worries the heck out of me. It's not the guys that are taking care of business, it's all the guys and gals that aren't. So maybe you could spread this video around. And if you want to think that I'm a lunatic fringe, you're welcome to think so. The fact is, my wife and I eat these canned goods year-round. None of this stuff goes to waste. That stuff all gets cycled. This is just food we normally eat. We just keep it out here. We keep a larger than normal stockpile of it, I suppose you could say. But every can gets used eventually. There's not a thing here that's more than a year or two old. And in 2 years, it'll all be new again. I am Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got a few ideas. If you have any questions on food storage or on being prepared in general, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Take care.